Welcome. Thank you very much for attending this final conference for SPINTeams project, Elevating Entrepreneurship in Higher Education. My name is Ana Pajarón from the Chamber of Terrassa in Spain, near Barcelona. We are project coordinators of this project. So today you will see a lot of insights about entrepreneurship in higher education. We hope you like it. And we will be starting now. Just to comment that there will be a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. You are most welcome to ask questions in the chat during the presentation. And also at the very end, with the question and answer session, you will be able to talk and to ask questions live. In the meanwhile, all guests are kindly requested to switch off the microphones, and you can keep the cameras if you wish, or if you don't wish, you can keep it out. And we hope that this webinar will be very interesting for you, that what the materials that we have produced will be useful for you. And at the end of this webinar, we will share with you a satisfaction questionnaire in the chat. So we would be very happy that you give us feedback on how to improve and if you like it. So nothing else, we will be starting now. So welcome everyone. SPINTeams project is a project of 3 years that is supported by Erasmus+. And we have the satisfaction of having a keynote speaker, an expert in entrepreneurship, Kambis Kohansal. By the way, we know it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Kambis. Someone told me. So happy birthday. This Kambis is an expert in entrepreneurship, is a startup founder, is expert at the Austrian Federal Chamber about entrepreneurship, and has interesting insights to tell us how is entrepreneurship in the 21st century. So Kambis, the floor is yours. If you want to share a presentation, please feel free to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Thank you, Anna. So I will head into the presentation. I think you are already seeing it. So just let me extend it. So I think you can see it, yes?
Yes, perfectly well. Thank you.
Okay, super. So hi, everyone. Everyone who's participating, the teams, the startups, the experts. So Anna already introduced a bit about myself. I will also head into introducing myself as well, just give you some information. The topic of my today's keynote is entrepreneurs of the 21st century. And what I mean with this, you will actually figure it out in the midst of my presentation. So Startup Now is our official startup initiative at the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber, which represents almost 600,000 companies in Austria. So it's the Chamber of Commerce where by law, most of the companies in Austria, including startups, actually become member. And that's actually what I'm responsible for. So all the startup companies in Austria. If you want to know how many startups we have, well, it's around 3,100 at the moment. And every day, we can actually put it on this way, there's a new startup in Austria arising. I've been in this position for 4 years, but it was not the only thing I've done in the last couple of years. So as you can see, this is one of my good pictures. It's from the past. It's around 2013, so 10 years ago. This was with my first startup company called What You Do, which is an educational startup. So it's a storytelling platform where people and the jobs are portrayed in short video clips. And it was my first company right after graduating from the university, actually. I started there and became a co-founder in the end. Our goal was actually to give more guidance to young people who are, pursuing the right career path for themselves. And because I had and the whole founding team had this issue as well, that we knew there were a lot of opportunities, but still it was unclear where to go. That's why we created it. So it was my first startup, but then I moved further and co-founded other startups as well, from education to HR to mobility. You see some of the teams I've been working with. And then I moved more into the funding side. So I became an angel investor myself, venture capital investor, angel investor. And this is actually an extract of all my different roles and positions I've gone through in the last couple of years. In the midst, you can see that's my primary task. So being the representative of all the startups in Austria at the Chamber of Commerce. On the left, you can see some of my investment vehicles with other angel investors. And on the right, you can see some of the startups I've co-founded or invested as well. Okay. So for those, please just mute your microphone so that they're not like background noises. So Startup Now, that's the initiative. If you're interested, you can visit it. We have some English section as well. Apart from that, just give you a short introduction about what we offer to startups, because not only for startups in Austria, but also startups abroad who actually want to move to Austria, who want to set up the headquarters and office or do some kind of activity in Austria. These services can be relevant as well. So we have weekly open office hours with me, actually. So if you're interested, you can also schedule like a 30-minute slot with me and discuss all the problems you have or challenges. We have a matchmaking initiative between startups on the one hand and bigger corporates on the other hand, which is called InnoUp. We have an internationalization program called Born Global Academy, if startups want to expand for the first time. We have a startup days called Startup Landscape Austria, where all the startups actually of Austria are listed. I will show you some parts of it in a moment. And then we have some content formats, so educational videos, which are also at least have some English subtitles as well, so you can also watch them and understand what we're talking about. And an e-learning platform called Wise Up for all the companies. Just some impressions, won't go into the detail, but just if you're interested, you can check it out. So yeah, regarding the Startup Landscape Austria, if you're interested to know what's happening in Austria, what kind of startups we have, what industries are rising actually, who are the investors behind it, what kind of public institutions we have that are involved in the ecosystem, you can visit our Startup Landscape Austria and check, all the data information you want to actually get into. Also, for instance, female-founded startups are a big topic here in Austria. So 39% of all the startups in Austria have at least one female founder. So you can also depict and look for the startups who actually have one at least female founder. Yeah. Just for your understanding, what do we define as a startup definition? Because from country to country, this could be different, but we now have the European Startup Nation standards and then startup agency in Lisbon, Portugal, and we're trying actually to align all the different startup definitions. But here in Austria, this is the official definition. So no more than 10 years after foundation. For sure, significant growth in sales, headcounts, and numbers of users, at least, let's say, if you're seeking for it, okay? Scalability, technological innovation, but also social innovation. And if you consider all the different factors, only 1% of all the company foundations per year in Austria are considered startups, okay? That's why we only have 3,100 startups. So austria.droom.co, this is where you can actually make a deep dive into it. But let's now start actually with what I want to tell you. So let's start with this. Why do startups fail? Okay. And this is not something just based on experience, but also we have the data providing it. And if you take a look at the data, this is actually what comes out. You have three very, very relevant factors amongst others for sure, but these three are usually the top reasons why startups, young entrepreneurs fail. One, we have the team. Second, we have the liquidity. And third, we have the market demand. So with the team, it's meant, okay, the team is not experienced enough or doesn't have all the skills actually you need to actually scale with the company. Second, a liquidity issue. Think about it. A lot of startups actually have contracts, that guarantees them cash flow. But usually, in terms of like if you're running your own company, you have the cost in the beginning, and then sometimes, particularly when you're in the B2B area, so business to business, it takes time until the money ends up in your bank account. And this is a big issue, but because think if a startup scales from 1 employee to 50, for instance, then the salary costs are very high, and you cannot, just be so flexible and cut the salary costs from one day to another. Okay, so planning is very important, cash flow planning in particular. And third, and number one reason, market demand. So you either have a product that doesn't actually fulfill the needs of what the target customer is looking for, or the market is just too little. So this is the number one reason why startups fail. And this has to do a lot with effective market research. So also here, some data by EBAN, European Business Angel Network, which is like the parent organization of all the business angel initiatives here in Europe. You can see the statistics: no market need, ran out of cash, not the right team, but also get out competed. And that's important for you, because you have to understand, as an entrepreneur of the 21st century, you don't have to be the first one, moving into a specific market niche. You can be, let's say, the second wave. And if you execute it much better, and if you have more money, funding, then actually you can outcompete others as well. Think about Google. Google was not the first search engine out there, but they outcompeted the other ones, at least in the Western Hemisphere, okay, because of a better product and more funding. Now, let's move into the investor's perspective, because that's important. Investors are a very, very relevant factor for startups who want to scale. What do they look at? So, bunch of different factors, from product strategy, from team to scalability, track record, valuation, and so on. But if you trim it down to the most important reasons why an investor invests into a startup, and I can tell you because I'm an angel investor myself, these are the top 3 reasons. So you have the team, the market, and then a conglomeration of 3 further factors: business model, USP, traction. Okay, so the team. Is the team experienced enough? And does the team require all the skills that are necessary to scale this product and business? If you remember the statistics before, number one reason, or one of the top 3 reasons why startups fail: the team. Second, the market. Is the market ready? Is the market big enough? Is it dynamic? Is it the right time actually to move a product into this market? So timing is a very important factor. Think about the tablets. Apple were not the first ones with a tablet product, but it was the right timing, and they had market power. And that's why it worked, at least for the first 10 years. And number 3, you have business model, USP, and traction. USP is the unique selling proposition, your differentiation from other competitors. Traction stands for like key performance indicators. So what kind of, let's say, successes can you already provide in terms of like numbers, growth, and so on. But most importantly, the business model. And this factor has become much more relevant this year compared to the others, because 2020, 2021, 2022, there was a lot of funding and a lot of money in the market, and it was growing above everything. The ultimate goal of startup teams was growth. It changed now, because now there's not so much funding anymore. The markets are more difficult. The valuation goes down for a lot of startups. That's why the business model, meaning when do you become profitable, has become much more important for investors as well. So think about this. It's very important that you have a profound business model right from the beginning. It's not just that you can like build up a user base for 5-6 years and making no money anymore. That's very difficult and not actually expected by most investors. So now, throughout all of the years, and also for you, if you go into like a funding run at one point, I always had this discussion between what is more important, a great team in a bad market or an average team in a great market. So just think about it for a moment. And I can tell you, it depends who you are asking this question. What kind of investor? So the angel investors, which are more early stage, are moving or actually emphasizing much more on the first, on the first part of this sentence. So great team in a bad market. So they believe if the team is good enough and the market is even not ready, let's say, they will find a way to make it successful. But VC funds, venture capital funds, who invest not only their own money, but the money of other investors as well, for them, it's very relevant that that the startup is actually in a market that is very dynamic and growing. Think about now AI, for instance, generative AI. So it depends who you're talking to, but in the end, a good team actually and a great market is the ultimate combo. So always try to set up a good co-founding team and an operational team, and also figure out a market that is actually growing and is ready, you know, to be disrupted. So now, and that's actually the core of my presentation, I want to move into, because the topic of my presentation is the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I want to tell you about a forgotten USP, which is becoming much, much more important in the upcoming years. So just let me give you some statistics. So this one is by McKinsey. They actually run a study and they figured out that gender diverse companies are 15% more likely to outperform their peers. Okay, so meaning you have a team with male and female counterparts. Let me give you another statistic. Ethnically diverse companies, so we're becoming even more diverse in terms of ethnicity, are 35% more likely to outperform their peers. This is based on data and studies. Now, let's move further. This one by Deloitte, inclusive teams, so actually who try to include all type of employee profiles, outperform their peers by 80% in team-based assessment. This is not just something ideologically, it's based on data, okay? Based on data and actually also on my own experience, having worked with a lot of teams. Another study I actually found some time ago, still 70% of all white men report feeling forgotten by diversity, equity, inclusion efforts, even though there is some kind of data and studies already. So that's why the ultimate goal is to provide more data and results and the performance outcome if you focus on more diverse teams. Okay, and we need more best practices. And that's something I want to give you as, you know, upcoming young startup teams, that you focus on this point by intention and not just by coincidence, but intention. Think about how you can restructure or structure a team full of diversity in terms of gender, ethnicity, inclusion. If you do this, it might take some time, but overall and long term, your performance will increase as a company. Okay. This is what the data shows us. So again, the forgotten USP, it's about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity, just to give you an explanation, refers to the diversity of employees in terms of gender, age, ethnic origin, sexual orientation, and so on. It's not just gender diversity, it's diversity through all aspects. Then the E, the equity means that all employees receive the same opportunities and resources regardless of their background. It's not equality, it's equity. It goes even a bit further. And number 3, inclusion. Inclusion refers to the fact that all employees feel welcome and valued in the company. That's DEI. Okay, this is something the entrepreneur of the 21st century should actually look at, because based on the data and experience, it actually makes them better teams. So why? Cultural diversity leads to different backgrounds, experiences, perspectives. It drives innovation. It builds a strong organizational or corporate culture. Inclusive environments actually where all employees can develop the full potential, perform or lead to better performance, and particularly in a tech environment and a startup environment, this is something I can see. Still, it's way not enough. You need much more diversity in today's economy. That's what I really believe. And if you focus on this, it will lead to better business results. And the teams I know in the startup and tech area that focus on this, they're performing at least mid and long term much better. Okay. So again, why startups fail? Remember the statistics, team liquidity, market demand, the team. And diversity and the focus of diversity actually leads to a better team. So if you want to have a great performing team, focus on this. Okay. Also, you will actually convince much more investors to invest in you. With, you know, evolving step by step. It still takes time because we have still some old traditional investors as well. But I can tell you, this is the way to go. And more VC funds focus strategically on this point. They only invest into diverse teams, and I can see this based on the data. So again, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Also, just wanted to show you, again, referring to the Austrian state of the ecosystem, because how can we relate these numbers to us here in Austria? Just 3 numbers. So we have 39% of startups in Austria who have a female founder. 25% of all the founders have migration backgrounds, so different ethnicities. And also, maybe for you interesting, because it's about universities, 1/4 of all the startups in Austria are spin-offs, just to give you some numbers. But there are other countries who are performing even better. Spain, for instance, I know is very focusing on gender diversity, for instance, and female entrepreneurship as well. So in the end, that's what I want to tell you. Think outside the box. Think about how to set up and structure a diverse team. Don't find excuses. If you do this, you will convince the market, the customer, the investor, and you will succeed in the end. So just to conclude, and that's it with my presentation, some practical founder tips if you're interested. I will send you the presentation anyway. So first of all, based on my experience, only partner up with people you trust. Number 2, before you start actually building a product, always understand who your target customer is and what they want. So it's about research. Number 3, focus on your core competencies very early on. Later, try to expand, but in the beginning, what drives growth in your company? And that's what you should focus and internalize in terms of like competences. Number 4, never forget to watch your health as well, because as a founder, you will usually work much more above average. And number 3, something I've experienced myself negatively at one point. So the ego, your ego is important. It drives you, to actually build a great product, to build a great team. But if it becomes too much, actually it hinders you to actually stick with being great. Because at one point you might believe you know everything better, but it's not like this. You should listen to your partners, to your customers, to the market, to investors. And if you gather all the data, actually you can make better decisions. That's why sometimes it's better to talk less and listen more. And you are also officially invited to join us next year at our biggest tech festival here in Vienna, Austria. It's in June 2024. It's the Vienna Up. 15,000 people from all over the world participate. So you are invited to join us as well, and I will be happy to welcome you. That's from my side. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Kambis. Fantastic presentation. We got the clues for success. It's surprising the data you got about diversity, about equity and inclusion recommendations. So it's been very interesting for us, and I took a lot of notes, and I'm looking forward to visit Vienna for the Vienna conference, if possible. So thanks a lot. Our next speaker is myself. I will introduce you about SPINTeams project. What is really important is that you understand that we've been for 3 years working. So I would like to introduce the project itself. Let me share my screen. Okay, you can see it?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. So this is the SPINTeams project. It's a university spin-off alliance funded by European Commission Erasmus Plus program. It's from the idea to the market through mentoring and transnational entrepreneurial teams. What Kambis was saying is very important. The teams are very important. The founders' capacities and skills is very important. So this is why we decided to build this project to provide these skills. As you know, concerning global entrepreneurship monitor definition, we have a potential entrepreneur, that is someone that has opportunities, knowledge, and skills, and then becomes, through conception to firm birth, becomes an entrepreneur. After 3 years and a half, it's considered that there is persistence and the business is continuing. But as you may know, in the case of Spain, for instance, 80% of startups discontinued the business after 3 years. This is meaning that starting up is not the difficult part. The difficult part is the persistence. So, which are the key factors for successful startups? Are the ones that Kambis mentioned before. If we focus in 5 axes, the key factors are entrepreneurial competencies of the founding partner. This is key to have the entrepreneurial competencies, the diversity, the complementarity. Is the driving force since the very beginning. It is key. So the second one is the founding partners' right complementarity, a team with the needed skills. We need a team that is fully operative. Third axis is networking, internationalization, and international cooperation. This is bringing gasoline. This is bringing strength and energy for scaling up phase. And the right business development at scale-up stage. We need to have these skills and these capacities to grow. And of course, access to finance at every stage, since the beginning until the scale-up phase. So how are we going to achieve this? As you can see, this is the graph of SPINTeams project. We have a very high mountain to climb, the mountain of entrepreneurship. Since the beginning, since the idea station, we have different stations. We have the idea, but we have to climb a mountain for going to the top of success. So first stop is training. First stop is training. Second stop is and giving all the cooperation with the team. And third step is the networking, the international cooperation, and last step is the growth. So we need to provide with the right tools to achieve success, because entrepreneurship is very exciting, but it's a mountain to be climbed. So what we decided in the SPINTeams project is to introduce entrepreneurship education. We built the role of entrepreneurship coaches at universities. We have a lot of talent in universities, but we need successful businesses. So first, we built this wall. You will hear about it in detail later with other presentations. We opened new learning opportunities and to practical application of entrepreneurial and business skills to advanced students, researchers and PDH students, as well as early stages startup and spin-off founders at universities. And not all students are business students, and they have many of them have technical skills, but not business skills. So we have offered new learning opportunities for all of them. Also guiding and counseling of every stage through mentoring schemes with businessmen and with businesswomen mentors. And all together, we have been networked in a virtual community of would-be entrepreneurs, startups, the spin-off founders, the entrepreneurship coaches at higher education institutions, at universities, the business mentors for improving entrepreneurial competencies. So, as I said before, our objective is to have to improve entrepreneurial business skills and to achieve more sustainable and more growing businesses. So the project is acting twofold. First, at individual level, impacting on the practitioners, so at the startups and spin-offs and the teams themselves, and at institution level, impacting on higher education institutions, also improving the entrepreneurial ecosystem and the training practices of entrepreneurial education in higher education institutions. Who we are? We are a consortium with universities. We are working in Spain, universities in Spain, in Italy, in Latvia, in Austria. And we also have 2 companies, European Grants International Academy and Poligest, who is providing the cooperation platform Rebel Base. And we also have technology transfer in Croatia, Terra Technopolis, and chambers of commerce, which are skilled in entrepreneurial education and also promotion. Chamber of Commerce of Terrassa as coordinator, Latvian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Institute for Economic Promotion, WIFI, of the Austrian Economic Chamber, WKÖ. And we have an associated partner, which is in Spain too. So we've been working together, a great partnership. You will be later listening to some of them about the results of the project. We've been working for 3 years, since 2021. Now we are finishing the project with a lot of positive results. So thank you very much for your attention. And you will be listening of the parts of what we've done, what we've produced, and what useful training materials we have produced for you later on with the next speakers. So thank you very much.
Hi, good morning. Oh, yes, please, Anna.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Our
if you
next
wanted
speaker
to
is Jordi from Open University of Catalonia. Please, Jordi, you are talking about entrepreneurship ecosystems, which is something very important too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just wanted to be sure you're seeing my PowerPoint presentation right now.
Yes, it is not in full screen mode.
I will put it now.
Now, perfect. We see it perfectly well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna, for the presentation of the project. And good morning, everyone. I am Jordi Castells. I am Jordi. I work at the Open University of Catalonia. I am Entrepreneurship and Innovation Lead at the university. I am here to present the work within the framework of the SPINTeams project, focusing in particular in the creation and fostering entrepreneurship ecosystems from the perspective of higher education institutions. In particular, we create a handbook called Handbook for Building Entrepreneurial Support Ecosystems for Higher Education Institutions, and it's not intended to be a typical academic read. It's more, think of it as a practical document for decision makers, for management teams looking to foster entrepreneurship among students and researchers, and creating an ecosystem or joining an actual entrepreneurship ecosystem. So due to time constraints, I won't be able to go deep into all the work covered in the handbook. However, I would like to provide some insights into its content, and as we briefly go through the handbook chapters. Lastly, as you see, the handbook is available for download. So now you can start to download it, or you can wait at the end of the conference, and it's available in English and in all partner languages. So let's start. In the first chapter, we take a closer look at how an ecosystem functions and how ecosystems are created. We specifically explore the definition, grounded in that in our case, we grounded it in the Eisenberg model, which defines an entrepreneurial ecosystem as composed of different components that interact to facilitate the creation of growth and new businesses. These components are policy, markets, human capital, finance, support, and culture. And we also delve in the role that higher education institutions play in these ecosystems. They act as key players, or they can act as key players. They can offer resources as entrepreneurship training and networking opportunities. However, they also can face some challenges, like sometimes the academic culture can be a little bit too entrenched, or some bureaucratic limitations, and sometimes some universities also have some limited practical exposure to the business world. Then in chapter 2, what we did is we selected 3 successful ecosystems that are Silicon Valley, Barcelona, and Graz, and that they differ significantly from each other, but each of them provides valuable insights into key factors contributing to their success into entrepreneurship and innovation. In particular, for each ecosystem, we analyzed the strengths and weaknesses, and we identified 5 features that we think that stand out. First of all, strong collaboration that among all stakeholders is crucial. You will see that it is a concept that we will repeat during the presentation. Also, access both to talent, where here universities play a significant role, and also resources like access to funding. That is also one important aspect to stand out. Thirdly, entrepreneurial culture that encourages a mindset of risk taking. That this will be for sure a catalyst. And then, as the fourth factor and the fourth feature, the supportive policies from government, that can be local authorities, but also regional or even national authorities that implement policies that create an enable environment. This can include like federal regulations, tax incentives for these startups or spin-offs, and also access to public funding programs can be very relevant. And finally, connectivity and networking initiatives that can be projects, events, conference like the one that is happening right now, and networking platforms. These will serve as channels for building relationships among the ecosystems and also expanding these networks. Okay, if we jump to chapter 3, in this chapter 3, we tackle the importance of defining a proper dashboard with KPIs. This will help us at the same time to assess the ecosystem performance and also to enhance it. And this will allow us first to allocate resources appropriately for maximize their impact, also to implement target policies for optimal effectiveness of these actions, and also create the right policies and initiatives that align with the goals set for the ecosystem. Okay, so while today we cannot go through all KPIs proposed in the handbook, here you can, in the slide, you can catch a glimpse of what KPIs we propose and also what groups of KPIs you will find in the handbook. So, organization and cooperation. This is the topic we covered in chapter 4. And there is an approach of how these organizational models affect the entrepreneurial support ecosystem. Creating a sustainable entrepreneurial ecosystem requires, of course, the contribution of different stakeholders. And these relations can be approached through top-down, bottom-up, or probably a combine of both approaches. And also, in order to organize this relationship within these stakeholders, we need effective governance models. And different governance models can be applied based on basically the level of commitment among the organizations in the ecosystems. So we define 3 levels of commitment. So there are models include light, medium, or strong commitment governance models. In light commitment ecosystems, the stakeholders operate basically independently or with very limited or informal agreements, following their own goals and initiatives in order to contribute to the ecosystems. Instead, if we go if we see the medium commitment ecosystems, in these ecosystems, there is a certain kind of structured governance to ensure monitoring and controlling of the activities that happen in the ecosystem. Most often, this is done through a formation of a body that will be responsible for the project management of the ecosystem. And finally, in the strong commitment ecosystems, the organization involved really join together into creating a formal structure or an entity itself. And this will act as a central government that oversees and coordinates all the activities that happen in the ecosystem. And if we move to the final chapter, sorry, something happened in my presentation. Okay, something went wrong, but it's okay with the configuration of the slide. But okay, no problem. In this last chapter, we proposed, as you see, a step-by-step guidance to higher education institutions in order to build its own ecosystems or to contribute or integrate into an existing ecosystems. This guide is proposed of 10 steps. There's a lot of information in these slides. But it's very condensed. But if we concentrate in the left part of this slide, we'll see that these first steps are the ones that focus more on strategy, definition, and building alliance across the ecosystems. First, the journey, the proposed, begins with finding the right moment. It's very important, and here is what we propose is to ensure that entrepreneurship support aligns with the university strategy in that moment. Once that is sure, then we move on to the second step. That here, the important thing is to identify which are the regional stakeholders, analyze existing support, and very important, pinpoint gaps also, and to try to avoid duplications. Because we see that when there are a lot of duplicate applications in the ecosystems, sometimes the stakeholders, in particular the startups and spin-offs, they can feel a bit lost. Then step 3 takes us to analyzing the interactions in the ecosystem, the interactions among the stakeholders. Here it's important to examine collaborations, also legal frameworks, and also try to find which are the facilitators and which is the current ecosystem structure, on if it's not very settled, which could be the ideal ecosystem structure. And then once we analyze these interactions, it's the moment to start and with step 4, start to promote the university strategy with the rest of the stakeholders. This is important in order to build trust, in order to build credibility, and it's important to communicate through public events this strategy openly, or as maximum openly as possible. And finally, and this first, let's say stage of the step-by-step guidance it's the moment in step 5 to start building alliances, start explore and negotiate collaborations, identify what can be the mutual commitments between stakeholders, also see which resources you can, as a stakeholders, give to the ecosystems, and which are the expected results for each of the agents of the ecosystem. Now, if we look at the other side of the slide, we see that these are the steps that become more practical, where first actions are done, and also first iterations. In step 6, we start like putting effort in looking for alternative funding. It's important to find a mix of these types of funding, public, private, or comparative funding, and this will ensure the financial sustainability in the long term of the ecosystems. And then with steps 7 and 8, we start with first actions. It's important to plan actions that are quick wins, that are realistic regarding timely resources available. And then in step 8, it's important to start evaluating how these first actions went. Well, to start gathering participant feedback and try to also to introduce corrective measures and improvements. This is something that we will go very more deeply in step 9, where actions fine-tuning and lessons learned. It's important to think the ecosystem as a flexible body, a flexible thing, and that we will go through feedbacks and this fostering this culture of adaptation improvement. It's also a very startup thing, as lean startup and other theories try to remark. So it's also important that we understand that this part of the culture is also going in the ecosystem. And well, finally, in step 10, we focus in ensuring the stakeholders' involvement and sustainability. Maybe here we can start to involve to a stronger commitment model, as we commented before, and this will last. And this will help to a last sustainability and impact ecosystem. In conclusion, the approach proposed, we try to propose in this step by step. We move from strategy through different kinds of steps to find strategic alignment to lasting impact. And I am thinking, yes, that's all for me. Thank you very much. I conclude my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and I encourage you, each of you, to download the handbook for a more in-depth look at what we covered today.
Thank you very much, Jordi, for this insight into the handbook and how to develop sustainable and impactful ecosystems around universities. It's important to say that the handbook is translated in English, it's translated into Spanish, into Croatian, into German, into Italian, and into Latvian. Also, we have some volunteers that translated into Serbian, so you will find it also soon uploaded. So please feel free to download and to use it. It is very useful for the universities that want to develop entrepreneurship and to integrate into support of entrepreneurship ecosystem. Thank you very much, Jordi. Very interesting topic.
Thank you.
So we move ahead. We have next speaker is Claudia Scarimbolo. She is an expert at the Austrian Federal Chamber about entrepreneurship training. Claudia, the floor is yours. You are going to talk about how entrepreneurship coaches and training courses are effectively implemented at higher education institutions. It is very important, the entrepreneurship coaches. I hope you like the concept. So, Claudia, the floor is yours.
So, hello from Vienna. Yes, my name is Claudia Scarimbolo. I'm in the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber. And we were responsible for work package number 3. And when you look at the mountain, you see on the left side, our work package was still in the valley almost. So at the beginning, the first step. And it is about training of entrepreneurial coaches and training of would-be entrepreneurs, and I will give you some insights about our work package. So first of all, we had to talk about the role of entrepreneurial coaches, and we had to clarify some questions before. So what is about entrepreneurship at higher education institutions? Entrepreneurial coaches, who are they and what are they doing? And then what is coaching, what is mentoring, and what is the difference to teaching? So some very basic questions. And when we come to the role of the entrepreneurial coaches in the higher education institutions, we have to consider two parts. On the one hand, the implementation and the process, because we had to talk about entrepreneurial thinking in an academic world. And on the other hand, we had to talk about responsibilities and workflows. So how to implement entrepreneurial coaches at higher education institutions. And then we had to discuss about the products and the services of the entrepreneurs. So what is the task of the entrepreneurial coaches? Where we are talking about doing things in a new way, doing things in a better way, and doing new things in general. When we ask who are they, the entrepreneurial coaches, and what are they doing, then you see that basically we were talking about university staff, so lecturers, assistants. And when we consider the world of entrepreneurship and the world of universities, then you see these are two complete different worlds, because at the world at universities, research is important, studies are important, teaching is important, and the task of an entrepreneurial coach is to foster entrepreneurship. And so the task of the entrepreneurial coaches is inspiration, is ideation, is implementation of entrepreneurship. And so for university staff, this is a complete new world. And so we had to discuss what is the job of an entrepreneurial coach and what is not the job of an entrepreneurial coach. Because the job of an entrepreneurial coach is that they are continuously in contact with students, and they foster the desire to become an entrepreneur and to aid them to unlock and to develop their entrepreneurial capacities, to bring their ideas into action. It is not the job of an entrepreneurial coach to give homework or to control or to give orders what and how to do, because he's not a teacher and he does not make decisions on behalf of the students. So this is very important to understand. And so we had agreed about the definition of an entrepreneurial coach, and we said that the entrepreneurial coach is a critical friend. And coaching means unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance. It is helping them to learn rather than to teach them. As I said, we had to define and to have a look at what is coaching, what is teaching, what is mentoring. And if you look at coaching, it's basically to ask open questions and to ask the right questions. And teaching is to ask questions, but expecting specific answers. And mentoring, on the other side, mentoring is asking direct questions and to provide sources of information and to seek alternative answered structures. So when we ask us what are the coaching skills and what has to be part of the training, so we agreed on that it's about structure and setting goals, using SMART targets. It's very much about listening. So actively listening, repeating, phrasing, summarizing, looking, observing, establishing a relationship. It's to building a report, showing empathy and understanding, being curious is very important, and provide a structure through the process, commitment and empathy. So here you see it on the graph very good, what is training and what is coaching, and you see that coaching is the much broader abroad. And so for university staff, I think to have skills and knowledge in coaching is also very interesting, because there's maybe a life after the university, and so these skills, the people they learn, can be very important to get maybe a very, very interesting job after the career at the university. And so we did our 3 webinars in June 21. And we won Frank Hennessy to make the first part about entrepreneurship coaching, about promoting entrepreneurship, because he's an expert in entrepreneurship and in the definition what is entrepreneurship, what are entrepreneurial coaches. Because there is a definition, and I will show you later on. And he was part of the team who was working on the definition of the European entrepreneurship competence framework. And for webinar 2, we had Sane Trinke from Latvia. And I have to say we were very lucky to have our partners from Latvia, because they are experts in coaching. And so we had 2 very interesting webinars about coaching going into action. And also the webinar from Elena, which was about practical tools and techniques in coaching. And all 3 webinars you can find on our website. And if you are curious now to see more and to learn more about coaching, and especially practical tools and techniques in coaching, you can find it on our website. We did the trainings, and we have now 21 entrepreneurial coaches at the University of Bari, University of Graz, at Open University Catalonia, and at the Terrassa University. And here you find the link to our webinars. And on the left side, you see a certificate, because all the entrepreneurial coaches who did the training, they got a certificate. Now to the second part, the training of would-be entrepreneurs. And the questions here were, what are the key elements for successful entrepreneurship? What are entrepreneurial competencies and skills? How to design online courses and to ensure that you have the attention of the students, because when you only have videos to watch, then you never know if there is the attention of the person who is watching it or not. And then we had to discuss about the content for training of would-be entrepreneurs, the development of the interactive videos, and we did the trainings materials, which we have in 5 languages. So the first step, key elements of successful entrepreneurship, it's about mobilizing others, the resources, the team. As you heard from Kambis, that the team is very important. Then it's about spotting opportunities and creativity, and it's planning and management. And here you have the European Entrepreneurship Competence Framework. And here you find these 3 areas, which is ideas and opportunities, when you have the creativity, the vision, the valuing ideas, the ethical and sustainable thinking. Then the second part is mobilizing. It is self-awareness, it's motivation, it's mobilizing others, and it's financial literacy. And the third part, which is defined, the third part of competences, which is defined, is planning and management. And there it's about taking the initiative, coping with empathy, uncertainty, risk, and working with others, learning through experience. On the slides, you can find the link to the European Entrepreneurship Framework competences. Yes, and here the main part of work package number 3 are the 8 modules. We did interactive training modules. So the interactive means that we used software where the video was interrupted and the student had to answer some questions, and only if the answer was right, it was possible to look at to see it all, the video. And those who finished the video have been registered, and so we knew that who watched the videos and who not. And it was necessary that from the 8 videos, at least 6 had to be watched. To the 6 videos, as we have a very great network, very great partners. So every partner did a video, and the first video was done by the University of Graz, by Susanne Kamska and Nina Niki Welander, and it was about developing personal entrepreneurial competences. Then the second video was done from the University of Toriba, of Jeva, and Yanis, and the topic was developing the business idea, how to perform the business part, and partners and partnership. The third training module was done by the Open University of Catalonia, and it was Silvia Bravo who did it, and it was about marketing innovation. Then the fourth one was from the Chamber of Commerce of Terrassa. And the topic was legal aspects when creating a company, finance, tax, and other legal aspects. And it was Antonio Munera. The fifth module was about European grants internationally, was from the European Grants International Academy, and it was Alteo Valentini who did it. It was about funding and financing and EU funds and supporting of entrepreneurship. The sixth module was about intellectual property and its importance, and done from the University of Osijek of Professor Dr. Ivan Stefanic. The seventh module was done by Jasper and Kambis from the Austrian Chamber, and the topic were international business, extend and expand internationally. And the eighth module was about innovation of project management in the digital transformation, and done by Vincenze and Alessandra from the University of Bari. So these are the 8 modules. And we had 1,234 registered participants from the universities Bari, Graz, the Open University, and the Toriba University. And those who did all, at least 6 of the 8, they got a certificate, and the certificate you can see on the left side. So if you now are curious about the training courses for would-be entrepreneurs, here you can find the link. Oops, yes, and I thank you for your attention. And give back to Anna.
Thank you very much, Claudia, for your presentation, for the introduction of about coaching, which is a very important role to be included when fostering entrepreneurship in a higher education institution. And thank you for introducing all the videos that are available at SPINTeams website. And all the training materials are available for everyone. Sorry, they are fully open. So we hope you like them. Thank you very much, Claudia. So we go to our next speaker. Something very important that we did in SPINTeams is the International Cooperation Platform. So Alex Frias from Poligest and Tomás Mora from Poligest will introduce the winning projects, also of the competition of startup projects, and about how important is international cooperation and how the International Cooperation Platform Rebel Base was very useful during our project. Thank you very much. The floor is yours, Alex.
Thank you very much, Anna. Can you see my presentation, right? Yes?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you very much.
No, yes, perfect, thank you.
So, as Anna was mentioning, in this project, we are working with different universities and chambers of commerce from Austria, Latvia, Italy, and Spain, and they are working locally in their national realities, but we realized that we needed some way to work together. So we tried to find, as we say, like the glue of the project that in the end was this international cooperation platform, in order to be able to, you know, all students that work with the different actors in their local countries, at the same time to be able to interact with the agents of the ecosystems of the other chambers of commerce and universities at the European level. In order to do that, we decided to introduce Rebel Base in the project and use it as a platform itself. And now in the presentation, I will explain you a little bit what it's about, and the most important thing, a little bit of some indicators to realize which was the impact that the platform had in our project. So first of all, to understand, really important, the platform, it was a place where all the members of the community of SPINTeams were able to interact and connect. Just for giving you a little bit of a view of it, 993 members are inside of the platform. And if we see the different roles that they have, we had 20 admins, 40 business mentors, 21 investors, and 932 participants. This is really important to understand the different kind of agents and actors we have in our ecosystem of SPINTeams, because the different people that is in this platform is giving, depending on the role, different kind of support to the participants that in this case are the students of the universities. We have 21 investors that nowadays are able to see the projects that the participants are developing inside of the platform, as I will show you in a while. But at the same time, we have 40 business mentors that can help and as well support the process of creation of companies that they were doing. Also, we matched that projects with some business mentors that had similar expertise and were more able to help them in the process, doing some mentoring classes. All the participants, all the members inside of the community had a profile. They have a profile like this one you are seeing right now. So it works a little bit as well as a social media, and everyone inside the platform is able to see the profile with the different characteristics that everyone has inside of the platform, such as where are they working or where they studied, and as well, it's connected with the LinkedIn or other social media. At the same time, everyone is able to see all the projects that the people is developing inside of the platform. And to understand a little bit better the things that we have in Rebel-Base, I'm going to introduce you the activity feed. The activity feed is the open part of the platform where all the 993 members are able to interact with each other. And they can do it in different ways. They can just ask a question, and as you are seeing right now here, Christina that was asking something about the webinar number 3 is having answers from different people of the community. But this is just an example of the many things of interaction we can see. For instance, we had 108 posts in our activity feed in total. And this is the differentiation of the different kind of posts we had. So we have a lot of Q&A, we had regular posts, and as well announcements of the administrators of the platform announcing anything that could be interesting for the community. Besides the big part where everyone can interact, anyone can have feedback from each other, and anyone can even do networking, there is another really important part that is the groups. So every university had their own group. And this is really important because every university was able to work nationally, independently, in their own classes, in their countries. How many groups did we have? We had 7 groups. And to understand this, it's really important to mention that we had a general group where everyone from the project was inside, these 993 people. And at the same time, every university had their own group. Turiba, Graz, UOC, UNIVA, our associated partners team. And also we opened some space for other universities that were interested to participate in this project. And this is how it looked. Every group had their own way to see all the projects inside of this group, for instance, for this university. At the same time, they were able to see the builders, something I will mention in a while also what it is, all the group members, and the performance is some statistics for the admins to see how the group is working and developing. As I was mentioning before, the builders are the learning modules we have inside of Rebel-Base, because yes, it's not just a place where the people can interact, it's also a place where the students can learn with these different modules of different topics. And every group, every university was able to create their own schedule of builders, depending on their needs, but we tried to standardize it and have more or less the same for every university in order to share same curriculum and experience itself. But something really important to mention is that all these learning modules had different activities and different steps to accomplish. And once they were doing the different ones, they were able to improve and work in their business plan of the project. But not just that, it's also important to mention that in Rebel Base there is 28 different builders, 28 different topics. And as I mentioned before, we had 12 recommended builders that every university were giving to the students. But even for these students that want to go further and wants even to improve more the projects, they were available. For them were available 16 other extra builders that were really interesting, just to try to go to the next level with the project. And I'm almost in the end. One of the really important parts of the platform was also the events that we were hosting in the platform. We had really different ones. As you are seeing now, the final conference is also here, and everyone from the community received an email explaining that we will have this final conference here. But we hosted many other different ones, like the final pitch competition we had 1 month ago, and other national events as well. And with that, I want to show you a little bit the final competition we had, just for you to have an overview of the kind of events we were hosting and how we were seeing them in Rebel Base. So here is the final competition, where we can see on view the winner and the runner-up of the competition that we hold online. This was the final, so we were able to see how was the score that the different judges that saw the pitch of the students, and they were evaluating them on view also for all the viewers. In the event as well, we were able to see all the projects and their business plans as well. We could go to the profile of all the students if we wanted to contact them, if we wanted to have more information about the projects. Also, we were able to see all the judges that were judging and participating in this cool competition we hosted, the sponsors that participated, and also the support members that were on the competition. With that said, just some indicators, as I like to say. 9 events were hosted in our platform. From these 9 events, we had 2 competitions. The idea competition we had last year, the final competition we had 1 month ago, and also 2 different conferences for different national events. With that said, I'm going to give the floor to my colleague, Tomás Mora, that is going to have a really interesting roundtable with the 3 winners of the final competition of our project. So please, Tomás, the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you. Thank you very much, Alex. So just to confirm, Anna, we have maximum 20 minutes for this part now. And if you allow me, I will share screen in a second. Because now starts, well, the most exciting part, where we hear those stars of these SPINTeams projects. Why are we here, right? We are here to help students, as we were saying, to become entrepreneurs and to make the spin-offs. And I don't want to take much of this time making a presentation about myself or what I'm going to talk about, but just in one slide, you will be able to see each one of the 3 projects presenting today. These 3 projects, ADR, Autonomous Delivery Robot, Lessonlink, and VIA, were 3 of the 4 finalists in the final pitch competition that we hosted on the 24th of October inside of the Rebel Base platform for the purpose of this project, the International Cooperation Platform. And we will have Mosem presenting from ADR, Lessonlink, we'll have Luis presenting, and from VIA, we'll have Felix. With that said, we're going to give 1 minute to each one of the teams to tell everyone what is the project about. I would like to start with ADR. Mosem, are you around here? Can you unmute your microphone?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, just a second. I will put your slide. So your minute starts now. So you can introduce yourself first and then use 1 minute.
Okay, hello, everyone. 1 minute is very short to explain this project, but overall, I'm going to introduce the ADR Autonomous Delivery Robot. The main focus is solve a big problem that we found. The problem was traditional delivery service, which is very costly and also very harmful for the human, because it's considered as one of the harmful job in the world. So our solution is an autonomous delivery robot, a robot which can handle all the delivery systems and all the delivery services. So we have a team of five experts who are university students, PhD candidates, and they are experts in different categories. And we calculated that with our team and with our solution, we can reach the 70 million revenue in the year of in the 5th year, and also the market will increase to 11 billions. There are some key features of our solution, which is our delivery system is 24 hours a day can work, and also in all the days, and it's easy to scale, less expenses, safe, and also we are going to focus on the market. And also we have some capability to customize our robot, specialized for the partnership, and get a lot of benefits from different revenue streamline. I don't know that I reached the time or not.
Thank you very much, Mohsen. Yes, I mean, we allowed you a little bit more also with your presentation, but I think it's perfect. That's usually what we call an elevator pitch. So it's how long does it take the elevator to go up the building with some investor. You did great. Thank you very much, Mohsen. We have a clear idea of your project. Although after the presentation of the 3 projects, I'm gonna pose some questions to you. Maybe you can develop a bit more there. So do not worry.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. Thank you, Mohsen. The next team I would like to call to present is Lessonlink. Luis, are you around, Luis?
Yes, of course I am. So also hello to everyone from my side. I'm going to represent Lessonlink in also only 1 minute, which is a short time, but I hope I will make it. Okay, so all right, Lessonlink, 5 minutes for lifelong better teaching. We started with a problem because every great solution needs a problem. And we discovered that there's a really, really big problem with teaching in especially. So teachers have limited time to prepare the lessons. They have a lack of resources and also a creativity at some times in preparing the lessons. And there's also in Austria and in all of Europe a shortage of teachers. And therefore we need a solution. And our solution is simple, but pretty efficient. And we are going to develop a sharing platform. So Lessonlink is going to be a sharing platform for exchanging teaching materials in a holistic way. This means experienced teachers can upload their already existing teaching materials, and less experienced teachers can download it and use it for the lesson preparation. And therefore, teachers can save a lot of time and can do better teaching in the end. And there you can also have a glimpse at our market. As Kambis already mentioned, it's a pretty important thing. And we've discovered there's a big market to this. And also have a look at our team. So Philip Sakula is our CEO, Manuel Peer, our CFO, and I myself, I'm the CMO of the team. And I think that's it. I hope I made it. Thank you.
Yes, you made it. It was very good, Luis. Inside of the time, everything's perfect. Thank you for your elevator pitch. And I think Lessonlink now, it's a bit more clear to us. And why did you reach the final as well? Many teachers here will thank you probably for this solution, including myself. So thanks a lot, Luis. We got the next project, which is VIA. Felix, do we have you around to present VIA?
Perfect, thank you. I'll try to be quicker than the elevator and make it clear enough. And should you have any further questions and should it catch your interest, I'll be open for the question afterwards. Basically, right now, a lot of packages are being sent through traditional means. For example, through the postal services. That is not only costly, but it also takes a lot of time and it also causes a lot of CO2 emissions. At VIA, we believe that a sharing community is a better community. That is exactly what we're trying to build upon. Our solution will be a C2C platform where we will be connecting the travelers with the centers. So in that way, if you're choosing to travel to a specific region, you can choose to take a package with you from a person that wants to send a certain package to that specific region, and you can earn along the way. In that way, we're making it cheaper, faster, and more sustainable. We've also talked to some potential users. Right now, we're trying to validate the idea further. We've chosen 3 countries to do that. We've chosen Serbia, Romania, and Hungary. And our most important need would be to try and validate the problem and to gain some first customers. That would be it from our side. We're a team of 3, and if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to ask.
And do not forget to scan that QR code, right?
Exactly, that is why it's up on the right corner big enough.
I hope everyone had time to scan it. Anyways, I'm gonna stop sharing screen right now so we can have a better view of all of us in the roundtable. Also, I want to ask you, Mosen, Felix, and Luis, to share your contact in the chat. So other people maybe in this call can reach out to you and want to know more about your project, because as you said, we had here only time for this 1 minute elevator pitch. I will make some questions to you, and I will make it through the 3 teams. So you can go one after the other, answering as well in a short manner. Because in the end, there are questions that you experienced and lived, like starting from the first one, which is, remember that during the presentation today, there was shared that there was a part, I mean, the final pitch competition was your project ended, but before that, there was a mentoring phase. I wanted to ask you, how was this mentoring phase? And if you could remember one of the advice that the mentor gave you, which one would it be?
So if it's all right for you,
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Okay, right. So yeah, I think it was pretty interesting, the mentoring phase, especially also the phases before and after that. But yeah, our mentor was critical, very critical. I think that's a good thing, as we already heard. Mentors are critical for friends, and we especially talked about our pitch, and he gave us a lot of insights of the real world of pitching before investors and or in front of investors. And I think that was the most important part. So getting the insight and the knowledge how to pitch and how to do it in a great way, especially. And we also learned about the, which I haven't heard before, the founder market fit. So are you the right fit of founders for the market you are going to, yeah.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Luis. I have to say that whoever was mentoring you did a great work with the pitching for sure. That's I remember the pitch from the final competition. It was awesome. Thanks a lot. Mosen, Felix, do you want to share anything about your mentoring process of your project?
Yes, or, oh, sorry, Mosen, do you want to go?
No, you're welcome. You can do it.
Okay, thank you. So basically, I think one of the best advice that we received from Imans, he was our mentor, was on the fact that we should spend maybe some more time on validating by not developing a solution, because we have talked to some people. Nevertheless, we thought of ways of how we can build kind of an MVP or technical product so that we can kind of cover some of the possible customer needs. But by talking to him, we realized that we can do that in much simpler ways. We can just build communities maybe on social platforms and so on. And maybe after we manage to get the first revenues, then we can think of developing some technical product, but we should not hurry and we should just keep it at our pace and validate the problem properly.
Thank you very much, Felix.
So, in our side, I remember when I was talking with my mentor, we had the problem in our project. The problem was our mentor mentioned that our solution was very universal. Our solution was not directed to any specific market. So because our solution was autonomous delivery robot and we didn't direct any specific market, it was very universal. So our mentor said, okay, you have to really direct to very specific market, not just very common and general solution. So we decided to focus on the food delivery market.
All right, thank you very much. Looks like the mentor did its job for what we've seen in the final competition. And speaking of which, I wanted to ask the 3 of you, how was for you the final competition, and do you think also that it impacted your project? Or in what way impacted your project, the final pitch competition we had a month ago?
I think it was.
Any of you can start. Yes,
sorry.
No
Felix, do you wanted to say something?
I'll go for it. I'll go afterwards. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, right. I think it was a great way of doing a final pitch. I really enjoy pitching live and talking to people live, yeah, face to face, as mentioned, and not online. But it wasn't possible in this case for sure. So I think it was the best thing to do in that scenario, and I really enjoyed it. And it also helped our project because we were pretty nervous to be before pitching, and the final competition especially helped a lot with that. So it gave us, more safety to pitch.
Nice, thank you very much, Luis. Felix, you wanted to go next?
Yes, I also wanted to say I think it had a great impact because pitching, I think that's something that you cannot get away with. So you'll have to do it like along the way. And the thing is that you have to sum it up in such a way that the people will understand. And in your head, it's also mostly clear. You know what you want to say. You would have a lot of say, but you have to condense it and just say it in 3-4 minutes and so on. I think that's a hard thing to do, and it's a good practice to start doing it.
And today the challenge was in 1 minute. We see every time we get more and more shorter time for you, and still you are managing to condense it. So bravo, Mohsen.
Yeah. In my case, it was very difficult to be in 4 minutes or 5 minutes speech, and even now in 1 minute speech, it makes me very difficult to get in time slide. So I think it's very, very difficult. And I realized that I have to somehow find a solution to keep in the time and say the word that I wanted to say. Sometimes when I review the pitch that I did, I realized, oh, that was a very worst job. I have to practice. And I think that this is a weak point. Our weak point is our presentation. I know that my presentation is not the best. We need someone, or I need to improve our presentation, because the presentation is the face of the company, is the it's the face of the company, and everyone can realize, will figure out and will know us with the presentation, not with our website, not with our document, not with our catalog. They just know us and get to know us with our presentation.
Indeed, Mohsen, and it really says a lot of good things about you, that you are reflecting on the possible weak spots of your idea. So that's great way to work, Mohsen. So what you need to improve, go for it and practice it as many times as possible. And of course, get more mentoring. SPINTeams is not over yet, even though the project is about to end, but not yet. Next question that I wanted to make to the three of you is like, okay, and now what? What is the next step that you are going to take with your projects from here? We can follow the same order, or start from Mohsen. Mohsen, please, since you have the microphone.
Okay, because we already had a plan, so I can explain more about this time. Now we have started to focus on our MVP, because we already validated the market and validated the solution and also the problem. So we are working on the MVP because our team is a technical team. So it's very easy for us to focus on developing MVP. But we have the main problem, and the main problem that all startup has, funding. So we are also searching for some fund and grants, because as I said, it's autonomous delivery robot, and robots are very expensive. The hardware are very expensive. Also, we need to buy some software or some technology. These are very expensive. But meanwhile, we are working on development of some part, and meanwhile, some other people are searching for some grants and funds. And this is our next step.
Thank you, Mohsen. I think it was clear. Luis?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same at our end. So we are also currently developing our minimum viable product. We're also doing more and more research as time continues. We're talking to a lot of teachers, also to a lot of experts in artificial intelligence. And so that's where we are right now. And we are pretty much looking forward to the Entrepreneurship Week in Barcelona, where we're also going to develop our MVP even further.
Thank you very much, Luis. Felix, what about you?
So just like I mentioned, the pitch, a sharing community is a better community. So VI is basically also about community building. That's what we're trying to focus right now. We're trying to build a community of drivers of people that want to send packages, and we're trying to get our first revenues. We're trying, as I said, to not build a technical product until we do that, but definitely once we'll have the first revenues and we'll validate that we can make money out of it. Afterwards, we're also build a technical product, or at least like an MVP, just like you guys said. So that will be also our focus. We'll be looking for public grants. We do not think that equity is a good choice right now, but the public grants will definitely gonna apply for it. Because of course, if you've got money flowing, then you can just focus on the one project. Otherwise, unfortunately, you'll have to make money to eat from something. So that is exactly what we're trying to do right now. And
Excellent. Yeah, please go ahead.
yes, what I wanted to do to say in addition would be that we're definitely up for anyone that believes that they can help us with mentorship or whatsoever. We'll be glad to hear that, and we'll look for this kind of discussions. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Felix. Please actually share your contact and the name of the project and your contact in the chat. Maybe someone else is interested in jumping in and help you out, or even ask you to join the team. Who knows? These kind of places are the good places to find advice, mentoring, teammates, resources. And I have one last question following actually what Felix just introduced. I'm going to give you the space to give one last message that you want to send to this audience, and also maybe to the other audience who will watch this video afterwards. Imagine who is that, a possible investor, is someone or some research you need. What do you want to say? Or what would be the message you would like to give? I give you 10 seconds to think about it. Felix kind of started. If he led the way. He led the way of, okay, take all the advantage possible of this public platform to send one message out. Maybe you will attract, luring some investors, some mentors, some coaches. So if someone would be interested in cooperating with you, in what way? What would be the thing you need the most, or what are you looking for out there?
Definitely. So right now, I do have some experience in the startups, and I've joined the team a little bit later on than the other members, but I do believe that right now we're a very good team. We have a social impact. I know that the focus would be on assuring a public grant, because in that way, as I said, we can focus as much as we can on the project. The project will have a social impact, and I believe that it's beautiful to try to provide value to people around you. The money will come along the way, so it's not about the money, it's just about the social impact, and I think it's what we breathe in. So basically, it's the startup world. I think you're either made to be in a startup or not, because it's definitely not an easy road. It's not like being hired. You have to do it on your own, but I think it's a great success that comes with that. So if you want to collaborate with us, and if you share our vision, and if you think that having a social impact along the way and making things matter is something worth it, that maybe you would like to get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Felix. And that was the message for the project VIA. That also maybe you can include it. You can say, Felix, what's the name of your project, and also what was the motto? I think it was "Get Carried Away," if I'm not mistaken. VIA, Get Carried Away.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Okay. Very catchy. Thank you very much, Felix. Who goes next, Luis or Mosen? The first one. Okay.
I only want to say we are open to everyone, especially the students who wants to participate in a very energetic team and who wants to be a part of exciting technology which can lead the future, which is game changing. And we are open in technological part or in the marketing part. And we would be very happy to have more teammates, to have more knowledge, to have more mind who wants to focus or who wants to work on this kind of technology.
And your project is?
We are Project ADR. So you can find our website, projectadr.eu. We have a contact, which is info@projectadr.eu.
You can see Mosen's contact. He's talking about the email contact in the chat. Also, drop in links and anything you can want to promote your project. This is the moment. Thank you very much, Mohsen. Thank you for presenting your project ADR, Autonomous Delivery Robot. And now we go, but last but not least, Lessonlink. Luis, last message.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I would also be happy if everyone who is in this meeting sends me a request on LinkedIn. I've posted my link in the chat. And we are also looking for people who are really interested in changing the way of teaching to a better way. And we are also looking for people in the education sector, especially. So if that fits for you and to you, just send me an invite and let's talk. And what I also wanted to mention is that something that really helped us is always staying thirsty for knowledge and using these communities you guys provided us. And thanks a lot for that. And also thank you, Jakob Stadler, for helping us a lot with organizing everything. And yeah, I think it's a great thing to do, and I'm so happy for that. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Luis, and also yes, thank you to Jacob and to everyone else who has made possible that you are here, guys, and doing the mentoring process for all the teams. With this, I would like to conclude this part of today's final conference, and I would like to give back the word to Ana Pajarón. Thank you very much, Felix, Luis, and Mohsen for participating, and to all your teams.
Thank you very much, the three teams. Congratulations for being Mohsen winning project finalist, Felix and Luis finalist projects. We wish you a lot of success, and of course, mentoring continues, and of course, support to you continues. So feel free to ask more mentorship if you need. And those coming to the prize awarded with the competition to come into Barcelona for Entrepreneurship Bootcamp, you are most welcome. And so wish you a lot of luck. And if you need anything else, mentoring and continuing the support, we will put in Rebel Base more funding, grants, and information so that you can benefit when developing your MVP. So thank you very much for your projects and for being today with us. So we are moving on. Our next speakers will be Lleva Bruscle from Turiba University in Latvia. And she's going to speak about mentorship, which is something that is very important in this project. So Lleva, you are
hello.
here. Hello.
Hello from snowing Riga. So, and yes, I will give you some insights in mentoring STEM for new entrepreneurship. And in the beginning, I would like to say that we strongly believe in mentoring process importance for the building new entrepreneurships. And while the mentors should inspire and build belief and facilitate learning and provide information and resources and support and motivate for risk taking and so on, but most important, provide the feedback. Yeah. And in terms of the SPINTeam project, the project resource is also the guide of mentoring and peer learning methods. And the guides is in 6 different languages, the project partner languages, and also in English. And everybody could download the materials while using the app, or just go to the project web page. So from the guide, you could get important and interesting information, while the guide gives practical insights and benefits of mentoring process, role of involved parties, mentoring process, and also tools for mentoring. There is several templates. While we're speaking about the benefits, I hope everybody heard already from the previous discussion or roundtable that there is for sure a lot of benefits, and this feedback and the new insights and additional information, and this will help to build a better model for future entrepreneurship. Once we speak about the parties involved in mentoring program, the two most important roles is mentee and mentor. But besides, there is also some supporting person as a manager who could be from the university, from the organization, and everybody plays some role in the mentoring process. There is a role for mentee, for mentors, and also for project manager. And you could get this additional information more detailed from the guide. But I would like to say that mentee also play really important role. While they will show the direction and set the goal, and also should keep the promise and be ready to take a risk and to be involved in the process. While I speak about the mentoring process, there is the designing of program, attracting of participants, connecting mentor and mentees, guiding, and there is also measure of success. And the detailed information you could find in the guide. Once we speak about the process as itself, there is the first of all, there is an identification of the participants. Then there is several regular meetings, and in the end, evaluation of the mentoring process. In the guide, you could get the additional information and more details about the all steps and process phases. But there also you could find really useful tools. There's a templates. So there's 8 templates: mentee's profile, mentor's profile, principles for the mentoring process, mentorship goal setting framework, first meeting, first conversation, mentoring worksheet, and evaluation questions for mentors and mentees. And I added here also like one example, to show how it looks like. But all those templates are you are able to find in the guide. So, and to sum up, I would like to say that allow to transfer of knowledge from direct experience and inspire new entrepreneurs. This is the main aim of the mentoring, and we strongly believe in that. So in the project homepage, as I already mentioned, you are able to find the guide and also find this information and also the template. That's shortly from my side.
Thank you very much.
I would like to give the floor to my colleague.
Yes, thank you very much, Lieva, for this introduction to mentoring that is found in the SPINTeams guide. The continuation about this explanation about peer learning, and that is also in our SPINTeams guide, will be undertaken by our next speaker, Vincenzo Colaprice from University from Italy. So, Vincenzo, the floor is yours.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Vincenzo Colaprice. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Bari. And I'm happy to be here in this final conference of our project after 3 years working with my colleague Alessandro Federighi and our professor Nicola Barbuti, who has coordinated the team during the project. Now I'm going to introduce the second part presented in the guide, which regards, as it was said by
Excuse me,
Anna.
Vincenzo, could you share it in full screen mode, please? I don't know if you can.
Should be in full screen, but
yes, it's just the screen icon under. Yeah.
Let's try again.
Please. Thank you so much.
Is it now in full screen mode?
Have you clicked the icon? Because No, we cannot see it in full screen mode.
Okay. Is it still?
No.
Well,
okay,
please you can go. You can go. No
Okay.
problem. We can see it perfectly well. No problem.
Okay,
Please
I
go.
will try to zoom a bit. Maybe it's better. Okay. Yeah, so let's start with the second part of the guide regarding peer learning and support entrepreneurs. So basically, we should start explaining what is peer learning, first of all. And it's a learning practice between equals where the participants interact to improve their professional competencies that are achieved through interaction in a space to exchange for discussion with feedback on the knowledge and the new learned, based on the idea that if something is explained to another person, it clears up, develops, and reconceptualizes the material. But peer interaction and training means having also the necessities or circumstantial variables in common. In the case of company employees, for example, they share goals, processes, and company culture. Being peer paved the way to development of same interests and needs, maintaining a more empathetic and open attitude to try to understand the opinions and thoughts of the others. But how can a peer learning process be efficient? It can be efficient if it impacts immediately the daily routine of the equals, it generates differential values and motivates to keep learning, if it contributes to create a shared knowledge. And moreover, the shared context among peers generates the necessary empathy to collaborate, especially when there is respect and trust. Then peers can exchange knowledge without fear, generating an open mind and willingness to participate attitude. And at the same time, it can be difficult to implement the methodology because without this trust environment, exchanges will not occur. Methodology motivates to start conversations starting from practical things and not from the theoretical contents. The challenge is improving the professional and the personal competencies for better performance in working on tasks using the adequate know-how. And that's why the participants learn through the auto-reflection and visualize other ways to do things. During the application of this methodology, a facilitator is needed. And it should not be conceived as a trainer, and this means that it doesn't transmit knowledge, but it's the person who ensures that knowledge exchanges takes place, moderating that everyone can dialogue and that participant can think. This facilitator accompanies the participants in their learning process, asking open questions and summarizing key ideas. Each peer learning session should combine 3 essential elements of peer learning, such as different points of view, different thoughts, and different experiences. And let's see which can be the principal characteristics of peer learning: meaningful context between equals, heterogeneous variables between participants, conversation from the action and not theoretical content, spaces for the auto-reflection of participants, learning spaces that can be physical or digital, confidence environment, need to have a facilitator, and the presence of a guest is optional. And it's also fundamental to understand also which are the benefits of a peer learning process, promoting mutual and reciprocal benefits, promoting interdisciplinary cooperation, promoting intergenerational understanding, promoting positive changes, promoting the feeling of belonging, improving internal processes for innovation and adaptation, having rich and diverse learning spaces, developing capital and team cohesion, and generating network of contacts. A peer learning activity can have different expected learning outcomes according to the participant profiles and the relation to the topic chosen. SPINTeams project proposed peer learning activity for new entrepreneurs support, where the higher education institutes can learn successful methodologies that can be implemented at the HAYS as curricular or extracurricular activity to foster entrepreneurship among their advanced students, PhD students, researchers, and startups or spin-off founders. So which are the parties involved in a peer learning program? There are basically three. So the HEY project program manager or facilitator, the participants, of course, and a guest person. And let's see which are their roles and responsibilities. So first of all, we have the project manager, who will decide the topic to be discussed. He will take care of planning and managing the materials, and also the ensuring the number of participants. He will select also the participants, and will communicate the most important information and data, and it will monitor also the satisfaction of participants. Then we have the facilitator, who will design the activities for participants, introduce the methodologies, and he will try to obtain the respect of the necessary rules, times, and roles and documents during the session. And it will accompany the participants and speakers during each session, dynamizing it and moderating it. And then we have the participants, of course. They will have the task to attend all the session, to be active and dynamic, and also they have the commitment to expose their experiences during and share their thoughts during the session. And at the end, we have the guest person, and if they are present, they can share their knowledge and experience on a specific topic. And of course, their attendance can be subject to question from the participants, and they will take the necessary time in the session for making their intervention or answer to the question. Then let's resume the steps of a peer learning process that can be divided in three phases. So we have the before the experience phase, where it's necessary to establish the goal, to choose the participants, to choose the resources, and to communicate with the participants. Then during the experience, it's necessary to organize an exchange session to collect feedback on the session and evaluate the learning outcomes acquired. And then after the experience, it's fundamental to disseminate the questionnaire to evaluate the improvements of the participants and also analyzing the results. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vincenzo, for this insight into peer learning. All this information, you will have it in the website of SPINTeams, so you will be able to download this guide about mentoring and peer learning. So thank you very much for all your speakers. It's been very interesting, all the insights. And just two things, we are opening the question and answer session. For those that are willing to ask questions, you can open your mic, raise your hand or virtually, or just switch on the camera and speak, or also to put questions in the chat, in the question and answers. For those being in a hurry and you have to leave, just bear in mind that we have this feedback questionnaire, so we would be very grateful that you all fill in the feedback questionnaire about this conference, so that we have a fresh feedback from you about the results of this conference. So the floor is yours. Is there any questions?
Yeah, good morning. I would ask something about the international cooperation platform. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Would you be so kind to say your name, your country, and...
Yeah, sorry, my webcam didn't work, so I can open it.
Don't
my name is Simone Chiordi. I came from Italy. I work at TTO office of University of Florence. I would ask if to cooperate in the platform, we need some requirement or we need to be part of the project, or it's open only for the project partner?
I think this is an answer for Rebel-based colleagues. Just to tell you that we use an existing cooperation platform that it's called Rebel-based. And so my colleagues from Poligest and Rebel-based platform, you can tell how it works.
Thank you, Anna. and thank you for the question, Simone. Well, yes, as just Anna mentioned, we use an existing platform which is called Rebel Base, and this is a platform that they are providing the service for online entrepreneurship ecosystems and also online learning modules for universities, communities, and companies also for entrepreneurship. So we as a SPIN team, what we did is to get a place, a virtual place, because in the end, Rebel Base is a company inside of Rebel Base. And then inside of that part, we developed all the cooperation between the different universities and actors of this project. If you would be interested in learning more and know more on how to take a look at how the platform works, I shared my LinkedIn in the chat, so anyone who can or who's interested in knowing more about it can add me, and we can continue this conversation from there.
Okay, thank you very much.
More questions about the projects or about SPINTeams itself? We have in the chat some positive comments. Please go ahead.
Hi, sorry, I know that it's coming to an end, so it's just a very brief comment, which I'm also going to put in the questionnaire. My name is Diana Patti, and I am based in Austria, and I am the co-founder of Impact Shakers, which is a Belgian organization supporting impact entrepreneurship. And we ourselves were running a similar project, a Knowledge Alliance, and I would just love to figure out if there's still a way to coordinate a little bit between each other, or to discuss how we can potentially just share some knowledge between each other, because it is so vast and so amazing what you have presented us here. So if there is a way to get in touch with you afterwards, that would be just amazing. And yeah, big congrats on the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diana. Of course, we are in contact with other Knowledge Alliances projects. So we also have this community of teams, and that is built by the agency. So I will put my contact details you have in the presentation, but I will put it now in the chat. So feel free to contact me as coordinator or any of the partners if you need something from the SPINTeams, and we are fully open to cooperate with other projects, of course.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you to you, Diana. Well, I think that there are not more questions, and we have comments in the chat, and we have congratulations from several attendees. So we thank a lot all attendees for coming today. We've been a little bit late in the schedule, but there was a lot of information and very interesting projects that we have, successful projects from startups. So we hope it's been very interesting for you. And so we hope that you visit the SPINTeams website, you download all that we have produced is under Creative Commons license, so you can use it. You just have to mention us, and you can use it only for non-commercial purposes, but you can use it in the way it's best for you. And we hope that SPINTeams results are very useful for other universities, higher education institutions, and also for chambers of commerce, and also for other organizations training and fostering entrepreneurship. I don't know if any of the speakers would like to say something for the closing.
Thank you, Anna, for all the effort in coordinating.
Thank you, Tomás.
I also would like to say thank you, and that it was really a very great project with great project partners. And when I have a look at our work package number 3, we had 8 webinars and 3 others, and everyone everything was ready in time, and I think it's the first time that I did a EU project that really everything was ready in time and there was no delays, and so it was really great to work with you all.
Yeah, I think it's great that we have had the best partners and everybody worked hard, did their parts, and we have very complementary skills. So I think that we are a very team, a SPINTeams, very good team. Any other reactions or? So if there are no more remarks or reactions, just to thank all the speakers, to thank all attendees, and we are open for any comments from you. So feel free to contact the SPINTeams members. And this webinar will be recorded and will be in our project website soon. So thank you very much for everyone. Don't forget to fill in feedback questionnaire, and see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye.